Come with me on a spring walk around the villages of Ingrave and Herongate in Essex. Here's a map to show you the walk I'm going to do today. I'm going to start at the top and walk all the way down Cricketers Lane, and we're going to have a look at some beautiful old houses. After picking up some snacks and drinks from the BP garage that you can see just underneath the sign, I had a quick stop to look at these bylaws, and yes, there are quite a few of them. They were made in 1920 and it's well worth a read before you have a walk around Ingrave Common. Herongate and Ingrave have a rich history that spans several centuries, and there are 13 Grade 2 listed buildings here and 2 pubs. This beautiful 5-bedroom house for sale, which looks out over Ingrave Common, will set you back over £1.5 million. And there are many examples of houses and cottages which have the traditional white shiplapped weatherboarding. The history of Ingrave goes back to the Anglo-Saxon times, and the medieval settlements here were devoted to arable and livestock farming. During the Domesday Survey of 1086, there were about 150 people in the village, with 33 of those being peasants. And from the Middle Ages onward, these people would have worked on the land, many of them working on the major estates. By the time of the 1841 census, Ingrave had a population of 530 people and Herongate had a population of 529. As well as all the historical buildings to see, there's also some classical music history to discover here in the villages of Ingrave and Herongate. And it was here in December 1903 that Charles Potiphar, a 75-year-old shepherd and a collection of village children, sang traditional folk songs for the classical musical composer Ralph Vaughan Williams. Williams also composed 2 musical pieces called Ingrave and Herongate after the 2 villages. As you walk down Cricketers Lane and pass through the width restrictions, you will eventually see in the distance the Green Man pub. And we will be going to have a look at that in a little while. But first, we're going to do a little detour just as we get round this corner. One of the things that I love doing when I'm exploring a new village is just to go off the beaten track and maybe have a look down some of the side roads, because you never know what you're going to find. So I thought I would have a little bit of an explore around the last part of Cricketers Lane, and as I walked past this weatherboarded house on the right, I could also see some early 20th century buildings, 2 of them brick built, just there in the corner. But I decided I was going to go down this other road, which would take me past a large house called Evelyn Grove. This beautiful tree-lined avenue is a private road, but you can walk down it. I was really curious to see what was at the bottom of this road. And as I walked down it in the glorious April sunshine, I looked to my left and saw these large wooden gates. I had a peek over the gates as I passed, and I saw a stupendous, newly built mansion. Don't know who lives here, and it's obviously worth a lot of money and set in a private road. But the best surprise was on the grass verges on the sides of the road, where I saw all these beautiful wild primroses, daffodils, and other gorgeous wildflowers. I certainly hadn't expected to see this when I walked down this road, but it was an amazing sight to see. And it's surprises like this that really make going out for a walk and exploring your local area something rather special. When I finally got to the end of the road, I discovered that it was actually the site of the Herongate Reservoir. And I stopped here for a little bit of a rest and to look at some of the beautiful blossoms on the trees before making my way back to the next part of Cricketers Lane. This part of Cricketers Lane, with the approach up to the Green Man, has some of the prettiest buildings in the village. 21 Cricketers Lane was once a butcher's shop, and 29 Cricketers Lane was once the old bakery. Other houses near the Green Man pub were also once village shops, as can be seen by the square bay windows. In the 1840s, Herongate had 3 grocers, 2 bakers, and at Ingrave there were also 2 bakers and a butcher. A gentleman named Isaiah Still ran the post office at Ingrave, and there were also 4 shoemakers, 2 blacksmiths, 1 saddler and 1 wheelwright in the 2 villages. There were also 2 carpenters here, Thomas and Joseph Boardman, and Anne Boardman was described as a shopkeeper. In 1863, William Such of Herongate ran the post office in addition to his tailoring business, and William Moss was the local postman. Among other Ingrave inhabitants in the 1860s was John Brighton, a police officer. In the 1870s, a public elementary school was opened for the children of both villages, and this was rebuilt in 1912 for 156 children. Miss Mabel Birtles was the schoolmistress in 1926. In the 1860s, Eleanor Olive was the landlady at the Green Man pub, and a gentleman called William Fitz ran the Old Boar's Head, which is the other pub in the village, which we're going to look at in the next video. The Green Man pub is definitely a great place to stop for refreshments and food if you're walking round Ingrave and Herongate. This 17th century Grade 2 listed building began its life as a family home. It was also the previous site of a greengrocer's shop before becoming a pub. And it's a lovely place to sit outside in the spring sunshine and enjoy a pint. If you stop for a rest here, make sure you have a good look around, because there's plenty to see, like these 2 beautiful cottages with weatherboarded sides that were built in the 19th century. You can see St Andrew's Methodist Church in the distance, and you will also see the white building on the grass triangle that used to be the old village school. And we've now completed our first part of the walk from Ingrave Common to Herongate. Join me in the next part of this video, where I'll be exploring more of these 2 beautiful Essex villages and walking down to Button Common. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. We'll be discovering plenty of wonderful history and nature in the next video, so do make sure you join me, and I'll see you soon on another walk and talk with Grandma.